everybody. I was a 60s activist, and hopefully this next generation will build on what's positive from our struggles. This first poem, when Steve was reading his poem on Gaza, parts of it resonated with this first poem. It was written a few months after the start of the Iraq War. Mother's Day, 2003. Poets against the war. It's not natural that poets write poems against this war, to imagine the unimaginable horrors, the horribly twisted limbs, the burnt bodies, the dead children, the dead parents, the severed connections. The poet's craft is creative, life-affirming. War's business is death. Yet here we are, words of protest arising raspingly out of our throats, almost against our wills. For war runs against the grain of our being. I'm sure almost every one of us had a Bush poem in us over the last 8 years. This one was mine. Caesar to Cindy Sheehan. You point your finger and the world shakes. They laughed at your swagger and your smirk. Before 1 million Iraqis and 4,000 Americans paid with their lives. They are not laughing now. You were governor of a backward state where death thrives. Your imperial arrogance bestrides the world. The learning lamp is stuffed out by war. Those who mistook your poorly spoken English for weakness will learn the hard way. The American empire has the Muslim lands by the throat, and it is beginning to squeeze. And finally, in keeping with our policy of reading another poet, this next poem was by Jules Superville, who was a French surrealist poet, and I'm sure I'm mispronouncing his name. If anybody speaks French, feel free to correct me. Listen, will you learn to hear me from afar? You have to pretend that this poet who is speaking from the French Atlantic coast is speaking to you across the Atlantic, thousands of miles away, and you're listening here, right in New York. Listen, will you learn to hear me from afar? It's a question of inclining the heart more than the ear. You'll find bridges in yourself and roads to reach all the way to me who waits and stares. What does it matter the Atlantic's width? The fields, woods, mountains between us two. One by one, they'll have to give up on that day you turn your eyes this way.